What's something everyone pretends to understand but secretly doesn't? I am 26 years old and I still don't know how dry cleaning works. The difference between a million and a billion. Corporate strategy meetings. You've got a dozen people in a conference room, each taking their turn to sound smart while using words like holistic and optimize and go-to-market strategy. Meanwhile, nobody has a clue what the 5-year plan actually is. The boss talks about vision and synergy. Everyone nods like it makes perfect sense. But inside, we're all just trying to remember if we closed out that last tab or turned in that report. And honestly, no one's even sure what's for lunch today, let alone what the company's supposed to look like in 2030. A few months later, the whole plan quietly gets replaced, and no one brings it up again because we all know it was just a performance piece to make upper management feel like they're doing something. Taxes. I just type numbers into boxes until the website allows me to leave. The fact we figured out how to make electricity, and the fact we know how to distribute it all over the place, it's still magic to me. Magnets. How do they work? Search engine optimization. How to be an adult. I've been doing it long enough and still feel lost most days. Credit scores. I still don't know how a number decides whether I am financially trustworthy or not. What it means for someone to have or qualify for an actual psychological diagnosis. Narcissism, PCD, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, etc. Calculus. It's a scam made up by big math. How the government works. Blockchain. Bitcoin. Pets. Everyone who has a pet thinks they understand their pet. Very few actually do. Gambling. People act all cocky like they know how to game the system, or they somehow have insider knowledge of which games pay out best or when. The truth is no one knows shit because it's almost completely random with some minor exceptions for some table games. Insurance policies, lol. Every time someone starts explaining deductibles and premiums, I just nod and pray. I never actually need to use it. I couldn't tell you how my TV works. I know it works, but I couldn't explain the mechanisms behind how it works. How taxes work. Everyone acts like they get the system, but it is all just confusing. The human brain. Other people, and why they don't see the world the way I do. The problems in the Middle East, including Pakistan and Israel. Depression. So many people that don't have it think they perfectly understand what it is. Just don't be sad anymore. Think about happy things. Spoiler alert, it's not sadness at all. Heavy depression is more like the complete absence of any feelings for some, like it was for me. I fecking wish I could have been sad still, instead of nothing. Why does the world need AI? What an engineer does. Investing. No matter how much you make, if you just put 10% in your 401k, you will be a millionaire. People just don't get it. Infinity. Even people who think they understand infinity do not, as demonstrated by how people talk about the infinite hotel story. Love. Everyone talks about it like we all agreed on what it means, but I am pretty sure everyone has a completely different definition. Stocks, derivatives, hybrid debt, and the like. How health insurance actually works. I understand every individual word they use, just never the sentence they form together. Mental health recovery. People think it's a straight line, but it's actually a chaotic loop of feeling fine one day and back at square one the next. Crypto and blockchain. Most people explaining Web3, decentralized ledgers and smart contracts are just stringing together buzzwords they heard on a podcast. Probably because I am barely subjected to it, but I get the concept of time zones but cannot apply it to daily life so easily. Every time I am told something is at a different time zone, I have to goggle current time zones times. For me, I think that many people think they understand how to read people, but in reality they do not. It's so easy nowadays to look around and analyze people and draw conclusions, but from personal experience, they are hardly ever accurate. As a mechanical engineer, I think entropy. Everyone parrots the high-level explanation of chaos or randomness, but how is it quantified? I can't find an explanation for what 1 joule per Kelvin of entropy is. Why my phone battery goes from 15% to dead like it's been holding a grudge. Quantum physics. Seriously, my stepdad is a physicist, and even he admits he doesn't fully get it. How computers work. Like, I understand there are parts, but how do we get from parts to images on a screen? How does the computer understand codes? How does it visualize shapes or colors? Other people's minds. Everyone puts labels on everyone else as a shorthand for understanding them, but the mind is incredibly complex, and we can never truly understand the complexities of even one other person's thoughts. Life. Damn, I wanted to be the first. Taxes. Like, what is the point of giving the government the money you earned? Like, just get a job, lol. I know the baseline of what taxes are, but never cared enough to fully understand them. Everyone keeps telling me that it gets better, and I have options, but literally I don't. I've been asking for help for months, and no one has been able to offer me any assistance at all. Now I'm getting evicted on the 20th, so I'm killing myself on the 19th. It's a real shame because I'm starting work on Monday and I would be able to pay rent starting in October. I just won't be able to keep my job while homeless, and I'm not going to live in a shelter or on the street. It's a form of low-grade incarceration. I haven't committed a crime. And before you start, yes, I've already checked with the government and with churches. There's no money for my rent. Math concepts in school, I still don't get half of them and just nod it along. What the middle class is. Crime and the economy. The point of existence. Cryptocurrency and blockchain. Why any number to the power of 0 results in 1? Their decisions. We spend a lot of time rationalizing and justifying things, and sometimes we might have some good analysis, but most of the time decision-making is far more vibes-based than people want to admit. Taxes and marginal tax brackets. How when to back down from what feels like defending your values. AI. I get people's disdain for LLMs, Gen AI, the proliferation of massive data centers, and everything surrounding the topic of AI nowadays. It needs to be regulated, and these companies need to be reined in for a slew of reasons. That being said, I see an insane amount of people, both for and against AI, spouting off complete nonsense about AI. I don't expect everyone to suddenly become experts in what's arguably one of the most complex fields of computer science. But holy hell, some of you need to stick to the facts you know about the issues with AI and stop trying to talk about the science. Taxes, and don't lie now. Tolerance and empathy. If the acknowledgement of harm bothers you more than the harm itself, I encourage you to self-reflect. The stock market. Cryptocurrency. Electricity, even the pros only semi-understand it. The concept of a mature person. The start of humanity.